That you are involved in is Mac versus Windows. Today we will want your opinions on such things as audience, user interfaces, aesthetics, interaction, stability, and hardware. And here's Tom to talk about audience.
Right. When you talk about audience, we're on about like who the product is aimed at. So who do you think that the Mac is aimed at, and who did it first?
Right, I think Mac is aimed at more graphic designers and media people, and Windows is more for business people.
See, nowadays they both copy the same target market, because Macs are designed for everyone now with the MacBook Air, and the MacBook Pros for more like graphic designers, and the MacBook for the average market, like Windows, always based the same.
I think Windows also has a more like family appeal to it as well. It's more accessible.
And it's also cheaper.
No, it isn't. What? Oh, Windows, yeah. I was talking about Mac.
Windows is based more in this country for business and stuff, but then again, like in America, like a lot more families tend to use Macs there.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think Windows is better for families.
Yeah, but in America, loads of families use.
I know, but we're in
Mac.
England.
Yeah, I know, but we were talking about America.
It's just the point, isn't it?
Which operating system do you think has the best user interface? Which is easier to use?
Windows.
Definitely not.
I think Windows.
Yeah.
It depends on the target audiences again, because you could get somebody who's really simple, like doesn't really go on computers. I'd say Windows, because it's based more for starters. But then again, a Mac's more interactive in that kind of way, in it. So I don't know, probably put more people like that in it. Would you agree?
Yeah,
So Windows has got the easiest, simplest
Yeah,
interface.
It's just for simple people, really.
So Windows, yeah.
What do you think they should improve on new operating systems like Mac OS X? Is it Lion? Lion and Windows 8.
Well, the templates at the minute, the betas haven't been released, so until the betas are released, you can't really comment on what they'll be like. But
I'd say Mac would be compatibility with more programs, and Windows there's got to be probably better security, because
Mac's got more programs.
no, it needs better compatibility, and Windows has got a wider load of viruses. I mean programs.
Better virus system.
Which do you prefer the look of in appearance-wise?
Sorry, what?
In appearance-wise, how
GUI.
it's set out and how it looks in shape and size and that.
which operating systems?
Which interface, is that what?
No, what, the
Yeah,
look of
which
the
one do
look
you
of
prefer?
computers.
It depends if you're asking me.
Do you
or-
mean the look of the actual computers or the look of
I
the
think the look of
system
the,
in it?
yeah,
Both.
I think
Both.
Oh.
I'd say Mac's more like modern and update,
Yeah.
whereas Windows has still got its old like safety blanket sort of thing. Whereas Mac pushes it out like having
Things different a bit.
yeah,
The invention of the iPad and
yeah.
That's it.
things
Yeah,
like
they're
that.
more a bit more.
It's more innovative.
Futuristic,
innovative,
Yeah, I
whatever
was
you
just
say,
about
yeah.
futuristic.
Futuristic, yeah, that sort of thing.
Which operating system do you think is more stable?
Mac.
Mac.
Windows.
Well,
Sorry.
Windows.
Linux.
I'd have to say Windows, just because it's been around and it's lasted its lifetime. I think it'll still carry on going.
But you know that you've
Like some
got
fit-
viruses from Windows 98 that some of them will still probably run and damage your computer on Windows 7, and that's a problem. It
No,
is.
but it's just.
You
It's,
know.
what is it called? Like Old Faithful, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Windows has always been there.
Yeah.
So it always will be there, I think.
Yeah, but then again, so will the viruses if you keep designing it the way they do. You've got
You've
Windows
start
95,
redesigning.
right, and it had thousands of viruses around that you could catch, and then still Windows 7 there still is. Fair enough, like you said, you get more viruses based at Windows, but you'd think if there was, they would find some way to kind of like counteract it, but they don't. I mean, even on Windows 7,
We don't know how stable Mac is, you know. No one's ever actually tried to target Mac.
Yeah, but that's because of the security on it. I mean, for everything you do, you need to practically put in a password and everything. It is rarely solid.
But then that was something Windows can do for Windows 8. It's something they can really work on.
Yeah, but they did try to do that in like Vista and 7 with the
Was
program
it
needs your
Windows?
permission.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just dragged on. You think, yes, I want to install something, It was to...
Yeah, but you can
that was
disable
quite
that.
annoying as well.
You can
I
disable
mean,
that.
what is it Windows 7's got? Is it that Windows Defender? I mean, sorry, but that's pathetic.
I ain't
What
got
does it
that, to be
actually do?
It's
I
pretty
know.
style
What would
Windows.
you put in to the antivirus software to make it better?
Which one would I use if I was on Windows?
Or what one would you use and what would you say would need to be improved on?
What would you say Windows should put in to stop the viruses?
Just redesign the operating system from scratch. Just
That would cause a
No,
lot.
I think they need to redesign the security from scratch. I mean, their idea of preventing viruses and security ain't really.
Well, I never get viruses on my computer.
Neither
I've
do
never
I.
got viruses.
I don't.
I think-
Yeah, I mean, every time you run, you install a program, even if you change a system file on Macs, it's solidly secure. But with Windows, it's just everything's all over the place. You have system files in folders, in like root folders. It's all over the place, so it's a lot easier to target. I mean, with Mac, it's all in a solid place, single place. But with Windows, it's not. So I think they need to try and think about redesigning it so it's all kept in one place in a secure part of the computer, really.
What do you think when it comes to gaming on either a Mac or a PC?
Windows is far better.
Windows is
Yeah.
catastrophically bad.
Basically because of the compatibility. I mean, there was games designed for PC far before there was Mac, so they've...
It's just developers don't bother even designing them.
No,
Even though
like you
now
said, it's based so much more on
compatibility-
design for Macs. I mean, for more family-like, people like to play games on the PC. They're going to
Yeah,
design
I
them
said
for
family.
PC, and
Well,
over
because more people have got a PC, so they just think,
yeah,
oh, we'll just design
and
it for a
over
PC.
time, I think they've just developed the operating system better to run games than
It's
Mac.
like
have.
their comfort zone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which do you think has better hardware, better software?
Either. I mean,
Yeah, they've
since
all got-
2005, basically they both used the same hardware. I mean, as soon as Mac invested in Intel, they both have the same kind of specs you can get from that.
They all copy each other as well. I mean, Microsoft make Word and Apple make
Yeah.
iTunes for
I mean,
Windows. So
it's like you've got Mac on your laptop, haven't you? But the reason it's starting to work like that is because a lot of the hardware is actually the same. So when you try and find a driver, it's more compatible, isn't it? And that's the way it works. So yeah, they probably use like the same kind of hardware now, anyway.
Last question. Which is your overall favourite, Mac or the Windows, and why?
Come on, Ron.
Mine would be Windows, just because it's been in my life since I was a little kid. I've always had Windows. I've only just started to use Macs, and I still feel more comfortable on Windows. Even though when I get home, and I still go home and press that such-a button to right-click, even though I've got one on my mouth.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
I've been brought up with both Mac. I used Macs all the way through juniors and infant school. As soon as I went to secondary school, I used Windows XP. And I liked Windows XP more than Mac, so I got a laptop with it. But when I got Vista, I switched straight back to Macs because Vista was just a joke from start to finish.
Vista was terrible. I agree.
What overall is that?
So I'm more Mac just because of how crap Vista was.
I don't really need to answer that question, but
Wow.
I've used Windows since I started like going on computers when I was little, and then just early I'd say that actually the last 2 years I started using Macs, and I've got to say you notice a difference. I mean, yeah, Macs 100%. I feel like they're more stable, they're fast, and the updates you can get from Mac come in so much quicker and easier than you can in Windows. It just feels so behind going back to Windows. It's like even going on Windows, you go on Windows 7, it's like, then you turn on a computer and you're going back onto like Windows 95 or something. That's like me going back to Windows. So,
What?
replay that, you'd understand. Anyway, yeah, so Mac.
I prefer Windows because I only started to use Mac when I joined this college, because back in the days when I was at school, I always used Windows, and I had never used Mac. So I think Windows has more graphical user interface, and it's friendly as well. You know, it's like easier to navigate
it's not
everything.
Too scary, yeah, when you first go on it.
In like Mac, sometimes you get lost as well.
Yeah, I
with
still
everything.
do.
Because if you're not familiar with the Mac docs, you know, the when you minimize, it minimizes in the dock, yeah?
And the
Doesn't
Finder,
it?
and the Finder's annoying.
Yeah, and then it's quite hard as well for the starters.
I'll say Windows just because I've never used a Mac before I came here, so I've had a bit of a game with these, so I'll just say Windows.
Wait a minute, you said the Finder's annoying. There's no difference in the Explorer and Windows.
Yeah, I know, but it drives me nuts.
It's the smiley face, you know.
Half the time I can't find any of my files in the bloody
No,
Finder.
I can't. It sends them to completely different places
Yeah.
where I put them
That's
to.
your
Spotlight.
That's why I keep everything on my desktop. Just
Is
I don't want
it
to lose
command
it all.
space and you type something and the actual search actually works on Mac?
So we just say Windows has got the better like storage system. So
Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
don't think so
I'd
for
say.
security?
What?
I think.
It depends on how you mean it. I mean, like, if you use to install a program in Windows, you get the files, which go into program files, like, and then you'll get files that go into, like, your System32 file, then you get the
well,
files.
not just that. I mean, like just basic Word documents
Yeah.
and stuff like that, like on your desktop, and like making folders and like them.
I think it's similar, to be honest. Other than the way that where they position the actual files, where you decide to use them, it's a lot similar. I mean, Windows 7, sorry, but they actually copied the look of, you get the sidebar in the Finder where you get the folder, so you got like my computer and stuff, then you've got...
Yeah, but they did
Yeah,
it
but
better.
hadn't Mac copied Windows with that?
No, Mac.
You don't copy each other, don't
Mac
they?
Yeah,
design
it's
those
so
first.
like.
Actually, I think in the Finders, the search bar, in Vista and Windows 7, they have improved it already. Just didn't notice because every time you press the start, and then after all the usually program you use, there's a button where you still can search all
Yeah,
your
you
stuff
still
with
can
it.
search.
Yeah.
And it'll
So
bring it all up.
that
Cause
would
The amount of
Maybe.
people who don't use it because it's just sort of...
You
you'll
didn't
go
know
for it.
actually. Nobody got told actually there's a
Yeah.
really convenient way to use a Windows.
yeah.
But in Mac, they actually laid out really like, how do you say it? Simple to us, like for a designer to find it.
It's more logical as well, like the Finder, if you was to search just a random document, it's the little Q in the top right corner instead of
Spotlight, innit?
Spotlight. Instead of going start, search everything, search this whole thing, it's a bit...
In Windows, it
It
might be
actually takes
just
up quite a lot of RAM on Windows as well.
yeah.
What does?
Do you know the search thing in the start menu?
What?
They was going to scrap it in the beta because there's the search thing in Windows actually takes up quite a lot of RAM.
What, in the start menu? Huh?
I think that's about enough. Thanks.
It's a red.
That's what I call a